Today, it's time to get schooled. And speaking of today, did you know that on this day, December 24th, 1818, Still Nacht, Silent Night in English, was first performed at St. Nicholas Church in Oberndorf, Austria. Composed by Franz Gruber with lyrics by a local priest named Joseph Moore, the song Silent Night was meant for a simple mass sung by just a few parishioners in an Austrian town. But according to legend, a traveling organ builder working that night was so enamored with the song that he brought it home and shared it with famous friends who traveled the countryside as folk singers. These folk singers traveled throughout Europe and America. The song was performed before kings and heard by thousands. Soon the song would be a favorite worldwide. In our day, when Bing Crosby recorded Silent Night in 1935, the single sold 10 million copies. What seems to be the wonderful lesson of this little tale is that a silent night can be had, even in the midst of a global conflict. Hard to imagine, but the story is true. In the midst of the war to end all wars, World War I, a ground swelling of peace swept the battlefield on Christmas Eve, 1914. Called the Christmas Truce, it began when soldiers on both sides of the trenches began to light candles on small trees. It did not take long before carols were sung, carols like Silent Night, and the men from both sides came out to dance and be merry. Superior officers were outraged and ordered their men back into the trenches. These orders went unheeded. A few friendly soccer games began. The night was spent together, British, French, Belgian, and German, spreading the good cheer of Christmas. In the end, the officers had their way. The politicians continued their disputes, and tragically, millions would die. If only the silent night had spread into days, weeks, and years. In the midst of your anguish this season, find rest and peace in a silent night. Psst! It's PROLOG with MR.REVIEW. It's a podcast that is actively digging tons of earth to find an ounce of gold, striving for a more perfect union.